coming in to see some of these buildings that we're passing here. Very old-ish for England. They go back to the turn of the century. These buildings over here are a little bit more modern, and we're going down through this road. Now, this is a bird sanctuary and a historic site all rolled into one. You have a mini railway that goes all the way down here, and it will take you around the site. And this is Wat Tyler Country Park. It's in Essex, but this place is steeped in history and has a few secrets, which I'm going to show you and tell you later. These buildings here, these go back to the Second World War and further, and I believe that up there was a form of sail locker, because you had boats coming down here. All these buildings here, these are new buildings, as you can see. They're really nice. And then there's some older buildings going as far back as the 1600s, some of these buildings, and they've been put here to conserve them. And there's some over here as well, and lovely little cottages from all over Essex. And there's bird hides over there and water pumps, and we're going down to the estuary. Well, it's a little tributary that goes out into the estuary. And believe it or not, during the First World War, this is where boats were loaded with ammunitions and stuff to go out to France. And that's a little hint of what used to go on here years ago. And we're just coming up to it. I'm going to show you some of the bits. There's people over there walking. It's a nature walk going down there. There's a nice little lake over here that you can, like, wildlife spot, and it's all geared for birds and things, obviously, because some of it is a bird sanctuary. Now here we go, and this is a car park that's for as it says up there, it's closed. We've come down here because it's the only place you can have a look at things. We're not breaking the law or anything. We've just come into this area for a short while just to show you where the landing areas were and what it looks like. Obviously the tide's out. I'm going to take a little walk down to the front and point the camera up and down it and do a little bit of explaining, and I'll be back. Now over there, I'll give you a little clue of how close to the coast we are. There is a pillbox, we call pillboxes, over there, and it has openings for machine guns that point out across the marshes and out onto what is now Tilbury docks, and down there is Southend. And along here is one of the biggest waste disposal places down the end there. If I can zoom in the background, is one of the biggest waste disposal places in Europe. And there's another one just up the road being finished as well. So we're big on getting rid of other people's waste. Around here, as you can see, it's beautiful countryside. People don't realise that where I live in Essex, there is acres upon acres of countryside. It's not a big sprawling town, apart from it does contain London. And as you can see in the distance there, that is Langdon Hills, and that's another beautiful spot. This one around here goes out into these are all the way along here. There's another one down there about half a mile down that road where you can see those two walkers going. There's a boatyard up here. It's a really interesting place, but I'm going to take you on another little walk because I'm doing this for my mate Stan, and it's a southern experience, and as he likes history, I thought I'd just show him a little bit of the history of where I live. Now this place is actually less than 2.5 miles from my front door, so I'll give you some idea how well I know it. I used to spend quite a lot of time here, walking and rambling. And here is some information. I can zoom in on that and you can read it, but if you can't, it says this concrete pillbox was designed to defend the South Essex marshes from invasion from the sea. It's one of many defences still clearly visible all along the sea wall. The two large concrete blocks on the sea wall connecting Wat Tyler Country Park to the landfill site were constructed as a barrier to prevent enemy tanks pushing forward towards London. It was anticipated that the tanks would have been delivered by air into the flat marshland that is now the landfill site. The road up to Wat Tyler Centre would have been lined along the left-hand side with a series of open-fronted sheds, part of the sea transport stores and sheds stored firefighting equipment used on Royal Navy ships. Unfortunately, it's a bit windy up here today. Well, I hope I can sort of shelter this camera from too much of it. But you can see here, it says Recycling Land and Cleanway Pitsea Marshes Trust. If I can just come back a bit. This map shows you places of interest, but the reason that I came down here today is it says down here in 1380 the Peasants' Revolt. That's why this place is called Wat Tyler Country Park, because Wat Tyler led a revolt against the poll tax in 1380. And we also have ancient Britain sites along here, so this goes back way before then. And then coming up into the 1800s, we have 1891 when Nobel, of the Nobel Prize fame, built his explosives factory here, and we're going to do a little bit more about that later on. Just in front of this map, if you can see this, I hope you can. I'm sorry about this wind, it's just driving me crazy. In front you can see that it says Wat Tyler Country Park and the site of the explosives factory, and this is it here, and that's where the explosive factory are. And there was a series of large built up dikes that they've removed now, and you can see that we are here, and we're going to go down this road to the different areas to the site of the explosives factory, and go into the museum that's there and show you a bit more. This is the switchback system or turntable for the miniature railway. And it comes all the way up to the pillbox, and then it turns round. Have a little exit area here so you can get out and explore, and it takes you all the way from the front gate all the way down to here. And this large concrete bowl that's down in front of us, this was from the munitions factory, and it was probably used for washing gun cotton, and it was lined, they found traces on it, it was lined with bronze to stop sparks. So everything around here it didn't want sparks or all this place would be was a big hole, I think. But yeah, that's just a little thing of interest, there's a willow hurdle, what we call willow hurdles over here, going along there, made of willow, posted down, weaved in and out, and very, very old form of creating a fence. It's probably done yesterday, but it is an old form of doing it. Now this is one of the original roads or pathways that came from the munitions area, and probably people took that road here to use that bowl for washing gun cotton and stuff down at the front there that we just passed. Now we don't know that for sure, but there is something interesting up the end here that I'm going to show you, and I'll let you make your own mind up.
Railway that they used to take the munitions down to the
Now I'm not gone crazy, I'm filming this ground because we've noticed that as you walk up here it's like a cobbled effect. You can see the stones laid into the ground, and they're actually laid in, as you can see, in a brickwork fashion, like cobbling. And I think that this path actually was a cobbled path. So years ago, when the munition factory was at its height in the 18 and 1900s, this would have been a cart track. That's interesting. Now we're coming up this track, and if you look, you can see it's built up, right? A bit like a railway embankment. And these are part of the blast defences. So they made them so that if something blew up, the shockwave didn't go whoosh, it hit these and was converted up into the air. It was all well thought out, and they definitely knew what they were doing. So you don't want a shockwave that could be produced in a factory that's actually producing nitroglycerin to turn into TNT. And they use stabilising agents to make blasting sticks, and the stabilising agents could be sawdust, clay, and stops the percussion going in, makes the percussion that's needed to cause the percussive reaction. Oh, here we go. Percussive reaction in the explosives to be slowed. That's why when blasting sticks start to sweat and they get old, that's when they get dangerous, because that is pure nitroglycerin falling out of them, and you don't want that, and that can make it really, really bad. God, and the mozzies down here are absolutely incredible. But here you are, this is and I believe this was part, as you can see, bits of it here, part of where they used to store stuff as well. And this was a storage bunker down here. So, and there's another load of steps down here, which I am not going to try and navigate. And we're going to walk back on the flat because the mozzies are getting rife. Oh, you bugger. God, Jesus. Get the... Yeah. Yeah, there was. All along here, but these are blast inhibitors all the way along here. God, shame they ain't mozzie inhibitors. Bleeding things are really deciding to attack me now. Pain. But yeah. But it's damp and quite dark and dank in here, and obviously it is full of mozzies. It's rather uncomfortable walking down here in just a t-shirt, and I wish I hadn't. But It's a muggy day today, but it's not too bad for a little bimble, and believe me, it's a little bimble, because it gets a little bit. I used to run marathons. Honest, I did. Got certificates. Oh, crikey. There we go. And this is it. Very, very overgrown down here. They've just left it, I suppose. This is how long this road goes back, or what was out here, whether there were any buildings or anything. As that store is down there, I should imagine there would have been a few more buildings down here, because there seems to be some flat areas out here that contain rubble. Oh, and my wife has just said to me they still find shell cases around here sometimes as well. So there you go. Excuse the wind, I can't get away from it. But this is right, as I say, this is on an estuary, and it's right at the seaside, if you want, and the wind is ripping across, and it's causing all kinds of problems for my camera, and I do apologise. But now this, I was told a story about 20 years ago, and I'm not sure how true it is or not, but you see this building is in two different types of brick. Now these pots, people tell me that this is the older part of the building that's here, and this is the newer part. Now there was an explosion, and half of it got pumped down, and then it got built back up again. Now that's the story that I've been told, and obviously don't know for sure, but you know, why would you build it half again? And these have all been cut in, these bricks. So that bit of information comes from having a father who's a builder. There you go. So, and I'd like to go around the back, because I want to see if they've done something that they should have. And just have a little look round the back of it. Now, obviously people don't go around here too often, as you can see by the thing of it, but now this building, there's clues with the mortar and different types of mortar that they used, and that, and kind of area, there's a area around here that's used for different stuff. Now can you see here, right, it all starts to go awry. Now the front of the building is the most important part, and that's what I was looking for, any fluctuation in the brick, right, to show that it was an existing building and no one run out of bricks. I'm glad you come round, because you know about it, and this is, as I was saying, but the stitching, I wanted to come round here to see that they hadn't run out of bricks. If they'd have run out of bricks and they'd run it, and that did happen in some cases, but they haven't, because the stitching is all to crickle here, right, but round the front it's perfect, so you can't tell. But round here, because the building, like what they used to call a building foreman, right, he didn't even bother about the back, he just wanted the front. He'd come in and have a look, and they used to try it on, and obviously they have.
I think it's when they got around here, it was a case of getting things back to making munitions.
Absolutely, I'm not saying that, but I come round here looking for a specific thing, and I found it, so my old man must be right.
But as I say, you know, they'll have to.
Right, a very nice guy called Gary, who's just left in that truck over there, has told me that I'm right, that this is the older part of the building, because people think that these are modern bricks. They're not. These are the cheaper kind of fire bricks that they made when they needed something quick, and they needed to get this back up and running, because this building was a laboratory. and apparently someone shook some nitroglycerin too hard, and this end of the building buggered off. So they had to get it up and running. Now I know, right, people are going to argue with me and say things about this, but my dad was a builder, right, and like your dad tells you stories, and when you're a kid you remember them because they're funny, a lot of them. Now he used to say about, now you see these bricks, a lot of these are pots, and blown pots, and they're called pots because they're made like a pot, out of red clay. Now this has been stitched together very neatly, if you see, right up there. But I've just gone round the back of this building, which is where I met Gary, who came round and told me that what had exactly happened, but I already knew that it had been blown up. But I wanted to go round the back to see, and you will see at the beginning of this, right, that it all goes to shoot round the bottom. Because they haven't bothered about cutting it too much. They ain't worried about it too much round the back because it's round the back. And it was an old trick that they used when they were trying to get buildings up quickly, right? They didn't worry about it, they weren't too worried about that, but they worried about the front. I used to think that this was not true, but have a look at that. It's really neat, and all the little, I'll show you the little nuances that we're talking about. These little cut bricks, you won't find them round the back. Of course they're not there, all they've done is they've just shunted it over. There it is. And this was, as they say, it's now professional dog grooming. It was the laboratory, and it got blown up. So there you are. Give you a good look here. I'm going to walk backwards, but this is what it was. Bearing in mind that the newer bricks are the red ones, not the yellow ones. And the red bricks are a lot cheaper than them bricks as well. I know that, because obviously, as I say, I only know little nuances, but when your dad's a builder and he tells you these things when you're about 10, you remember them. And I went looking for what he told me, and I found it. I was so pleased. So here you are. So from Wat Tyler Park, this is 0 pence, and this is for Stan from Southern Experience. Hope you like it, Stan. There's lots of little bits I'll have to cut it about because there's a lot of footage here, but I'll try and get the full essence of this place. But this is how dangerous it was. And this is a picture of the guys being checked out in the morning, and a lot of women worked here as well during the First World War and the Second World War. And as you can see, the building in front of you was originally Pitsy Explosives Factory search hut. So when they were coming in, they made sure that you had no cigarettes, no matches, no anything that could cause a spark or a fire on there. And this is them there. Now a lot of these guys have got some kind of uniform on, and I'm wondering if that is the factory uniform. Oh no, there was it. They're forage caps. So a lot of these are ex-servicemen. Yeah. So, and they were searched at these search huts for metal objects and that could cause sparks, matches, coins, watches, jewellery. It was feared a spark could ignite volatile fumes and blow up the factory, as had happened in a number of factories around Europe. The buildings opposite were the guardhouse, the supervisor's house. Staff were kept on site to guard against accidents and sabotage by enemy agents during wartime. Explosives were a very profitable business, and the company had to keep its guard up against foul play by ruthless competitors. And this is, it's all run by very famous Nobel, the Nobel Peace Prize founder. And as you can see, it gives you some idea of what would happen in these places. and they are all offices now, and parts at office D and things like that. But you can imagine what it was like. The big gates would have been across there, and they would have come in, and there would have been a search hut round about there, and they would have come through there and then come out of here and queued up for the rest. And the chimneys, you can see, this is an awesome place. So I thought I'd take you to see this, and it's only a cursory look, but I think you'd find it, and you can look everything up about this place, Wat Tyler Country Park and the munitions factory, on Google. It's all on there.